recently we've all found ourselves in a time where food is very abundant in some places of the world, but might not be so abundant in other places of the world. And because of this, we have to find out ways to make the most bang for our buck and sufficiently use what we're given. So first, I want you to think back to a time a couple years ago, back to high school, when you were just sitting at the lunch table, kind of casually minding your own business. You're talking to your friends, and as you finish eating your food, you go up to go throw it out. How many of you have done this? Well, the truth is most of us have, but since then I found a way for me to cut down on waste, and it's through compost. Hello class, my name is Issa Johnson, and I hope you guys are doing great during this coronavirus outbreak. Today I will be talking about reusing kitchen waste, cheaper, better alternative solution to using store-bought soil, and how to differentiate what's safe and what's not safe to use in your compost and why. And alright, so let's start with reusing kitchen waste. When you grow organically, you're entering into a cycle. You are contributing to it and taking away from it. And you have to make sure that you're not taking away too much, because if you're not contributing back as much, you will end up not having good crop. Let's say the average American uses around 219 pounds of waste yearly. And that adds up. It adds up to about 40 million tons being taken to landfills, and that's annually. This is about 40% of the U.S. food supply. But 40% is being spat back into landfills. So we're only consuming 60% of the food that we actually have. This is why this becomes so important, is because you are re-implementing that food you have wasted into more food, which you can then eat and then reuse and contribute to the cycle. This information was also pulled from www.rts.com, an article on food waste in America in 2020, statistics and facts. On to my next topic. The reason that compost is a cheaper and better alternative to store-bought soil is due to the nutrient content. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are the big components of soil. When you're composting, you need to think about what you're putting into your soil, and that will be my next topic, but for now I'm going to cover the actual nutrient content of soil. So, like I said, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, those three become a percentage on most fertilizers, and you can see it like on this one, it's a 4-4-4, which is a balanced fertilizer. Your secondary nutrients are also important. These include like molybdenum, manganese, calcium, sulfur, and iron and such. And then the other nutrients are so insignificant that you can almost forget about them, but they're still in there. Like I said, it's about what you put in your soil. What I've got here are some eggshells, some peppers, some apple cores, and some lemons. These are high in potassium, calcium, eggshells, and phosphorus, nitrogen as well as they're breaking down. And yeah, that's just why it's better to use than store-bought soil, is because there's just so much more you can do with it. You can grow a lot more plants potentially with this stuff. And you can also mix it with other soils and get more bang out of your buck that way. Alright, so let's move on to my third topic. Knowing what to use and what not to use in soil. So there are some things that are poisonous, and then some things that are just downright not a good idea to use because you'll attract animals. Alright, so for my third point, we're going to talk about the toxins, why it's bad, and some of the reasons you just wouldn't want to put certain things into your soil. So first, let's cover toxins. You have to think about manures, things that can cause sickness and foodborne illness. If you compost a chicken manure or a cow manure and you get salmonella or E. coli, that's not what you want out of compost. What you want is a good, fresh, bacteria-free compost at a high temperature to detoxify all of those bacteria. Just do your research if you're going to use manure, and in this book right here it even talks about using manure in some healthier ways. But chemically, you don't want to use things that are toxic to your soil. You don't want to kill your plants, and in some plants like the Spanish black walnut, there's a chemical known as juglone, which can actually inhibit plant growth in the roots and vegetative. So that's not something you want to put in your compost either, because it will not break that down completely. And you don't want to use things like chicken, meats, anything that could potentially get someone sick, or even an animal could break into your compost or your dog and make a mess of everything all over the ground. Another thing you don't want in your food are starches, like breads, potatoes, carrots, things that take a very long time to break down because of their chemical makeup. Certain mycological organisms are needed to break down these kinds, like yeasts and things that can turn them into alcohol quick enough. That's why I don't implement them, because they don't have a very high nutrient content. They aren't very quick when it comes to breaking down. You want things that can break down quickly so that you can use the soil within a season. And these are my sources right here, along with www.rts.com, that article known as an article on food waste in America in 2020, www.rts.com, and then Composting for a New Generation and Mini Farming. This one is by Brett L. Markham and Michelle Balls. So I hope you guys learned a little something today. Maybe I nudged you in the right direction, and hopefully you'll implement composting into your cycle of life.